Okay, so we are live, and I understand we are following some random pattern now. We do the session whenever it is possible. We do want to get back to our second and fourth Friday routine soon, but the new face-to-face training starting up, so that creates a little initial mismanagement in our scheduling. So a lot of time some of us are traveling, and that creates scheduling issues. But nevertheless, whenever we get opportunity, we do these live sessions. We are here to clarify your doubts related to certification, related to agile ways of working, whatever you have learned from us. And if you have any follow-up query, some of you might have done CSM from us, PMP from us, or leading safe program from us. So if you have any follow-up query while you start exploring that content in advance, we can talk about that. And we can definitely talk about things which are needed to be known before you take a call about selecting a particular certification program. So I am Saket Bansal. I facilitate these sessions. I do train a lot of agile and non-agile programs. So I probably will be able to answer your queries related to selecting a right certification for yourself. So process is pretty simple. If you have a query, type your query. I know, I wish you can speak up, but somehow this channel does not allow you to have that interactive communication. We are planning to start our Instagram live where probably you can join and speak as well. But as of now, text, yeah. So type your message. If you are on YouTube, type it there. If you are on LinkedIn, type it there. And good evening, Dipanshu. I can see your message. Yeah. So that's how you type it. Anyone? And let's see, yeah, what we can explore together. We have time around 1 hour, and it depends upon if we don't have a question, we can finish early as well. Yeah. So we are getting busy again in the classroom space. That seems to be a good news now. I can see that the impact of pandemic seems to be settling down. People do want to come forward and uh, participate in face-to-face classes. We started doing face-to-face PMP classes, and also we started doing face-to-face, sorry, not PMP, CSM classes and leading safe classes. So that's something we started doing significantly. Great. So I see some of you joining in. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining in. It's nice to have you all on board in this particular session. Let me pick up the questions to start with, and then we probably have more and more conversation. So I'm a senior business analyst having 6 years of work experience in tech space. So which certification should I go for? Can you please suggest me? Okay, great. Yeah. So I'm an MBA graduate and with engineering background. So I see that engineering background with MBA, a right profile for product management business analysis role. So I think you have that foundational stuff well covered. So that's a good thing. I think you are in a right profile because you understand the technology, because you are coming from engineering background, and you also understand the business because you are also coming from MBA background. Now, from a certification perspective, you can probably have some finishing with the help of certified Scrum product owner session. Again, it won't replace your MBA knowledge. It won't be covering all those things which you have learned about product management in your MBA as well as in your experience, but it teaches you how the Scrum is used when you are doing how to do a product management or product ownership while you are working using Scrum. Yeah. So you learn Scrum way of working from the perspective of product management space. So I recommend you exploring CSPO certification to start with, and that will help you to target roles which are product ownership role in the organizations or in the teams where they are using Scrum way of working. Thank you, Neetu, for watching our videos. Hi, Subhash, and hi, Suresh Babu. Welcome to the session. Okay, I take the another question now. If you have any follow-up, please put it in the further chat. What's the different perspective in ICP ACC, ICP ENT, and Scrum Alliance CTC, CSC offers over one another? If I have done one set, do I need to do another one? So they are all overlapped. So let's be very clear. The CTC and CEC, the Scrum Alliance Advanced Certification, are not education program. So nobody is going to teach you about CTC and CEC. You don't have to go through a curriculum. Rather, you need to prove your competency by way of answering their questions and participating in a panel interview. So the process of doing CTC and CEC is not education based. They want to check and validate, are you ready for it? Yeah. Now, how do you get ready? You get ready by having good amount of experience and also having experience in a structure or knowing the structure which can help you in establishing yourself as an enterprise coach. In order to do that, you need to do things like ICP ACC can help you. If you want to target CTC, then you need to go through a ACSM CSPSM path that will have some good amount of overlap with ICP ACC as well. So ICP ACC is, as I usually say, it's a CSM for agile coaches. So just having ICP ACC does not necessarily make you agile coach, like having CSM not necessarily make you a Scrum Master, but ICP ACC is kind of expected if someone is looking for a agile coach profile. It helps you in understanding what is agile coaching is all about and what you should have in your profile, in your competency, so you can do a better job as an agile coach. Now, IC Agile has an enterprise coaching certificate, again, knowledge-based, they're education-based program like ICP CAT. In our view, that's a little bit more popular, which is on agile transformation. And ICP ENT, which is more about system thinking and environmental study. So organization, culture, system, environment, and that's a kind of environmental intervention that helps you in learning ICP ENT. So if you want to target CEC, you need to have a knowledge of transformation, you need to have a knowledge of system thinking, you need to have a knowledge of agile coaching. You can acquire that knowledge by self-study and experience, or you can acquire that knowledge by going through IC Agile program. But that's CTC, CEC is a little bit independent path. So I hope you get the clarity, may not necessarily the answer, but clarity what you want to do. Getting ICP ACC is like this. Getting CTC is like 6 months to 1 year, or maybe more kind of a path after doing ACSM and CSPSM. So usually in our profile, our customer base, people get that ICP, ACC, ACSM, CSPSM within a year or so, and then they work for their CTC application or CEC application for another year, and then they go for CTC. Okay, so we move forward. Yeah. So I take it next. I am certified Scrum Master. What next certification should I do? PMP or SAFe? Both are good. Yeah. Now, my recommendation is if you see that your organization already started talking about SAFe and you see yourself working in a large scale implementation of Agile, doing SAFe is a good idea. But doing SAFe is like this. It's like a 2-3 days effort. Doing PMP is like this. It's like 2 months effort. Yeah. So don't try to compare them. You can do both of them, but SAFe can be done quickly, whereas PMP will require a little bit time and investment. Now, PMP is a good foundation for your project management profile, where you might be dealing in agile or non-agile environment. You might be dealing in what works environment. Many times people call it hybrid environment, whatever works. We just want to get the delivery done. If you are working in that environment and the work is also getting done in a project environment, project mode, because you take a vendor contract, you are a vendor, you deliver something, you get your money, and then things are closed. If you're working in a IT service space, in a projectized space, at some point in time, you want to do PMP. If you're working in the agile space, you want to work in a large teams, you want to understand how the agile is getting used in a large scale, then doing leading SAFe program is the good idea. Yeah. So leading SAFe is a 2-3 days effort. PMP will take 2-3 months. Yeah, that's an important differentiation you should make. Face-to-face training for PMP, yeah, looks a little difficult because it's a 4-5 days program for us. Let's see. As of now, we are sticking to online. Yeah, Bhavik. So I think, Aditya, you got your answer also, that when I was talking about CSM, after CSM, PMP versus SAFe. So you can say that you are already certified Scrum Master, advanced certified Scrum Master from last 5-6 years, I think you should do leading safe bare minimum, because you should know how a different scaling approach, because Scrum is a approach, a given approach, but a popular scaling approach which you might end up hearing, talking whenever you deal with people. So better you know how to do agile when you are 100 plus people working together for a given solution. It's a good idea to do a safe. And again, it's a quick thing to do. PMP will be needed when you work in a project mode, which means you take order from someone. There is a invoicing, payment, vendor management, stakeholder management needed. And when you work as a vendor-client relationship, they don't care you are using A process, B process, or mix of AB. And you should be able to manage all mixture till the time it works. Yeah. So you need to keep mixing till the time you create a solution for your end customer. So those kind of environment helps you or promotes people having PMP certification, because that gives you a necessary fit, say ingredients, so that you can apply any process for your project delivery. So my recommendation, do leading safe first, because ACSM shows me that you are already advanced in Scrum way of working, and do PMP if you are working in a projectized environment. So I have done registered Scrum Master. Is it equivalent value as CSM? I think you can search on job portals. In my observation, it is not that much visible in the job requirements. Yeah, that's why people do more certified Scrum Master. But it depends upon geography and the type of jobs you are targeting. So probably you go to the job portal, whichever is familiar to you, looks like relevant for you, and then search and see if the registered Scrum Master is also visible there. I see it has some amount of increase in popularity, but reaching the popularity equivalent to CSM, I don't think it is there. But yeah, you can do your job portal analysis. Okay. So what would be an ideal career path for business analyst? Should the person continue as a business analyst or jump as a PO? So I would say that PO is also a business analyst, but plus doing more product related activities. So business analysis as an activity, as an act, is included in a product ownership role, because you need to analyze, you need to do competitor analysis, you need to do stakeholder interviews, you need to elicitate the requirement good enough, you need to do their benchmarking, you may need to do a compliance validations. All those things which you do as a business analyst, as an activity of business analyst, continues there. But it may get added more focusing on even coming up with a business case. As a business analyst, you might be supporting somebody's already got an idea of business case, but as a product owner, you may start creating your own business case, and a little bit more partner development, pricing strategies, identification and validation of features, which has an overlap as a business analysis activity as well. That's a product ownership or product management. So I don't see there is a difference. Yeah, I see it's an extension of your current activities only. That's how I perceive it. Okay, so computer science engineering, what certification can be achieved before graduation so that fresher can get a little bit advantage? So I believe if someone is getting out of engineering, probably they need to focus more on technical certifications, because that's where they may want to target. We don't run those technical certification here, but depending upon the type of technology, say Microsoft side, they have Azure and other stuff, or the Amazon side, or the Oracle Java side, whichever area the person is interested in. If they pick up 2-3 technical certification, maybe towards cloud, towards data science, or towards some coding practices, that might be a good idea. If the person is willing to get into direct management and team leadership space, then doing programs like CSM, or the PMI has a CAPM program, that might be useful. But it also depends upon interest area. If in general, by default, I would recommend the person should go for technical education and certification, so that they are better equipped for the market. Because many times the colleges or institutions may be teaching something which is outdated, and you may want to learn those technologies so that you can quickly get started in the job. So that's a gap in the technology might need to be filled. Okay, usually what business analysts do after the 10 more years, I think we talked about it. So product ownership, product management is something, is a direction forward. Yeah. Okay, so I think we covered that. In case it is not, we can talk about that. Should I go for PSM or CSM? So again, it's like Pepsi and Coke kind of stuff. See what is more popular in your market. We sell CSM more because we see CSM selling more. We are not running PSMs. But if you are in a market where job sites are showing PSM certification frequently, usually I hardly see PSM coming without CSM. So you will see a PSM, CSM slash, or you will see only CSM. That's my observation, but you can see on your job portals. When I did 1 year ago the study, the CSM slash PSM was visible, and many places only CSM was visible. So decide what you want to pick up. If you're focusing on like North America and India, I think the CSM is more popular. Maybe other geography has different views. So ICP ENT, we are thinking, we are first checking up with ICP CAT. We are done with 2 batches of ICP CAT, and we got very good response. Initially, I was not that much convinced of launching ENT because I thought we cover good amount of content in CAT as well as ICP ACC, which is a little bit overlapped with what is there in ENT. But we do see people looking for ENT. So probably in 2 to 3 months time, we will take a call about ICP ENT. So will SAGE certification will require SU for renewal of ACSM? Yes, you get it. Yeah. So that's something is simple. Yeah. Okay. So this question is pretty common, and I better share it in this here. And I think we spoke about it, but I want to talk about it. Especially it is relevant for people who are doing PMP. So many times we get a question that since many organizations are going into agile way of working, and PMI is also saying that we are including agile way of working, but I see agile way of working does not include project. So what is the role of a project manager? Why should somebody do a project management, etc., etc.? Yeah, that's the question, and that's something is coming here. So let me share my view on this. So in a simple way, high level, there are 2 approaches to develop a product. One is a product approach and another is a project approach. Now, what is a product approach? Where you have a stable, dedicated team for a given product, and there are people who are building it, and they keep building it for next 2, 3, 5, 6, 10 years. They will have a different phases. Sometimes team is more, sometimes team is less, but this is how we are working. And there is a dedicated team which will take care of whole life of a product. It's launching, its maturity, its servicing, later on retirement as well. And that's how the organization is designed. So that's a product way of working a product. The another is a project way of working the product. You can say, yeah, I have a product and I want to run a first project to launch its first version. Then I will see how it responds. Then I will create a next project to launch its second version. Then I will create another project to launch a third version. Each project may have a different project managers and team, and I may work with the vendors for launching each and every project for my product space. Usually the project way of working is more common when the organization works with vendors, like they don't have their own dedicated team doing it. Now, the project way of working is also good for those products or tools which are not necessarily require continuous maintenance. Yeah, so you can say we get it done and we can use it for a while, and then we will decide if we want to continue or upgrade it later on. The continuous product way of working is something which required frequent updates, and that's something like on a daily basis for next 5 years, we need to do something about it. So that's better we have a dedicated team which is taking care of a product. Now, project management in the agile ways comes into the picture when the product is getting developed using projects, which is a usual case when the product is getting worked with the vendors. So PMP and the agile way of doing PMP and the project management way of doing work only comes and becomes relevant when you are working in a project mode. Yeah, that's it. So now people using agile, people not using agile, we need to ask the question is, are they working in a project mode or a product mode? If they are working in a project mode, the project management knowledge is needed. And there are a good amount of organizations, maybe still a good percentage of organizations, which are working in a project mode. Okay. So please focus some light on project infrastructure, cost estimation, budget, risk discussion with stakeholders. So this is like 50% topic of PMP certification. Yeah. So again, it may not get into a specific to an infrastructure one, but that's the whole PMP. So the idea of predictive life cycle, if I take an infrastructure as an example, which probably a predictive life cycle, that we learn this when we explore a PMP certification. So basic approach here is we need to work and identify the high level requirements, then convert those requirements into the scope. Then we convert the scope into manageable pieces. We call it work breakdown structures. And then and we can create a kind of a chart which shows the overall components which we need to develop in a given project. So you can say you have a hierarchical diagram of your whole project. Once that is in your hand, then you start working on for each node what all activities or tasks you have to do. That's the scheduling. And that required understanding of what all resourcing will get consumed, what will be the sequence of those scheduling activities. Now, while you are doing this, you need to continuously work with the stakeholders. You need to continuously communicate. You also need to consider the impact of quality related activities. Some part may be going to procurement, and in whole things, there could be something which can go wrong. So stakeholder and risk management, communication, quality considerations, working with your team and motivating is a continuous job. And once you have all this, you execute. Now, this whole thing initially will also help you based on your resources and time come up with the cost estimates for each and every activity. Whatever is getting consumed, how many hours of a person getting consumed, you come with the cost estimates. Now, these thing in a PMP space is called baselines. You create a scope baseline, you create a schedule baseline, you create a cost baseline, and then you execute it. You start working on it. You continuously keep eye on how are we working against the plan, and if there are some deviations, it requires analysis. So that is something we do in a PMP program as a theory, as a topic, and do a lot of discussion around it. It's a little bit big topic, but I think that's how I can summarize it here. Okay, so I worked as a software quality assurance engineer for 4 years, okay, mostly in the Agile project, and I had a gap of 3 years, then coming back as a global educator at a company for 2 years now as a Scrum Master and 6 months. I self-prepare for it. Two questions. I have completely confused what certification do as a Scrum Master. Also, my Agile, my organization follows SAFe, but I don't have even tried CSM. Okay, so my next question is become a product manager. I can self prepare, but it looks difficult to crack without experience. I know, how will you suggest try to some organization, but isn't there any option, any, if that's an option, any advice? Okay, so what I am getting here is that the you are working as a Scrum Master, yeah, and your current organization is using Scaled Agile framework. That's the first thing I am getting. And you are thinking that, okay, should I do some kind of certification for improving that? That's the first question I'm getting. The second thing I am getting is that you are also want to explore the product management or product manager role in the SAFe organization, product manager role. Okay, yeah. So what can I advise here? That's the possible question. How can you move forward with it? Sorry. Interesting. So what I can say here is you have a quality experience which might be creating interest in product ownership or product management, because you believe looks like a dry start again. Okay, So I believe you have a Scrum Master experience right now, and your past experience is in quality. So you are attracted towards requirement, exploration, elicitation as well. And you are currently working in a safe environment. So one thing I want to share with you is safe is very popular. Please exploit your safe experience. That's the first thing you should focus on, at least for next 1-2 years. People having safe experience, and if they can get a Scrum Master profile, usually safe is used in the large organization. I think you can make a maximum use if you educate yourself in a safe, because your organization is using safe. That's my first advice. So try to get established by doing certified safe Scrum Master program or advanced. You can directly go for safe advanced Scrum Master program also if you have an experience, and do watching, reading of safe videos so that you are ready. That's the first thing I would like to advise. The second thing, if you want to get into a product management space, you need to build the skill. Simple. Yeah. So you need to identify what is needed for product management. You can, as a Scrum Master, you are expected to coach the product owner, and you also understand how the product management is getting done. So involve more and more with your product owner, assist various events initially as a facilitator at a product management level, help your product owner and product management run the show. And by doing it, probably you also understand what they are doing, how they are exploring. I'm working with various safe implementation. What I realize is product management is more like a domain role as of now. Many people who are working as a product manager, they still struggle to write a story or a feature, but they understand their business pretty well. And that's why the organization wants to keep them as a product manager. So saying that ability to write feature or a user story will make you a product manager, in my experience, when I'm working with a safe implementation, is not happening. What I see there is the people who are expert in the domain, like banking, insurance, credit card, they are the one who are playing a product management role. And I am teaching them how to write features and stories, but they understand their domain pretty well. So probably you understand the domain, you work with your current product owner and product manager, that can probably open a door for you as a product management space. Get the domain well. That's something I can say. Know your customer, then you are ready for a product management job. Okay, MBA or PMP, MBA versus PMP, difficult call. I don't know, in a way it works, but I usually see PMP is something gives you a result in 2 months. MBA may take another 2 years. So it's a short-term investment, it's a long-term investment. Long-term investment might help you in making some ticks at a longer stage, maybe that the return on investment of MBA could be 5 to 10 years, whereas a PMP ROI could be 6 months to 1 year. You start getting the returns fast. Yeah. So both can go along. Whatever you are learning in PMP will be useful in your MBA. Whatever you are doing in MBA will be useful in your PMP as well. We have many clients who have done MBA in project management and they are doing PMP certification as well. Okay. So how do you see the present market for Scrum Masters and Agile coaches? Has recession already creeped into Indian market? Having done CSM, SASM, ICP, all certification, I'm still struggling to get the attention from recruiter. My profile, in spite having my profile filled with recruiter keyword search criterias and all. So what I feel here is in Indian customer space, we are not getting much of the concerns related to reduction in the Scrum Master jobs or profiles. But yes, we do get that kind of feeling from North America. So I believe Indian market is, I believe, again, limited experience with our customers, that we are not seeing that complaint coming from the Indian segment. We do have many people coming to us and they are looking for Scrum Masters. And I do see various Scrum Masters changing jobs very frequently. That's something is happening in Indian space, but not happening in the North America space. That's what I have been observing. Now, if you have a lot of terms like CSM, SASM, ICPP, all certification into it, and still you are not getting a recruiter attention, you may need to revisit your profile. You can get it peer reviewed by someone. You can send us also. I can probably review it. You can drop me in an email, saket.pansal@hisenbridge.com, and I can give a second look at it. Yeah, sometimes it's just not the keywords, but if say I'm reading somebody's profile, I basically go into the project experiences rather than keywords alone. And I try to see how the person has been doing various projects, because how much the keywords or the activities are reflected there. I get many CVs for review where I see the projects are talking about quality assurance and team other work, whereas a summary is talking about Scrum Master profile. That doesn't match well. So probably you need to see how my detailed experience relates to the target job I am looking for. That's something you can explore. The another issue I see in various profile is it is targeted for multiple role in a one go. One person is saying I'm project manager slash scrum master slash agile coach slash product owner. Then also it confuses the person who is reviewing it, and they will say, okay, looks like this guy is doing many things, probably we need to do something else. That's a possibility. Again, the other factor is that how many jobs are present, how many profiles are eligible for it. Any recruiter will do some searching. They want to reduce their work, so they will select few so that they can call them and find out who is suitable for them. So again, there is a factor of overall size of the market that plays a role. But second factor could be the content which you have in your profile. So you can't control the size of the market. You can improve your profile, your experience, your positioning, and your visibility. That can probably you can do. Okay, thank you. Looks like got some answers. Perfect. So hopefully, Nitu, you got your answer as well. So probably I have covered your question. Again, PSM versus CSMs, PSPO versus CSPO. I have a same opinion. So it's more or less the same content outline, different bodies, different way of looking at it. We believe the CSPO is more popular in our market segment. But again, you can do your research and find out which one is more. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, great. So I am done with the questions which are here. I guess so. If I'm missing something, please post it again. I think I have covered, but in case not, please put it here. Yeah. And if you have some new question or anything here, we can put it here. So what is the future of product owner role? My personal opinion is that path for till middle management is pretty much clear. People know that, okay, this is how we can reach there. But beyond that, it becomes depends. Yeah, there are only few people who go next. But in a way, if you have mastered the skill of product ownership, what can you do? You end up opening your own product, your own company. If you have mastered the skill of doing product ownership, you will end up launching your own successful product and make a lot of business. That's the one scope, which is pretty suitable. Or you help someone in doing a bigger level of product management. So you may become a head of over product, take an overall responsibility of business in a given product organization. So that's a future. If you can understand customers, if you can sell or make a product which will sell, I think you have everything. Yeah, that's the only key skill everybody is looking for, irrespective of industry. If you can sense what customer wants and explain the same thing and get that thing done with your technical team and make sure that it get adjusted, then you can do whatever. Yeah, you can sell and make your own products. Yeah. Okay, is the ICP, AC, or IC Agile Advanced Expert Certification equivalent to CEC, CTC? They are not education, but yeah, interview based, something. Yeah, so I think I got your question. Yeah, here. My personal opinion, yeah, again, we have not yet started the expert certification of IC Agile. Yeah. And we do support little bit on CTC and CEC. So more or less, we are kind of independent. But my feeling from observation is the expert certification are still quorum based. They are still facilitated based. You join a program, they educate you. It will take 6 months around. And after that, you get an expert certificate. Now, would you get, so what is your objective? If you want to make business out of it, if you want to become a consultant and trainer, then probably ICP expert certificate may not help you there. But if you want to get a job Probably in some job, there is a good amount of job, there is an expert certification asked. But I personally believe the market value or ROI of CTC CEC is better, because when you have a CTC CEC, you get authorized to train people on certified Scrum Master, advanced Scrum Master, CSPO, and all those things in the internal setup. So you can run CSM class for an organization, you can run advanced Scrum Master class for the public. And that's the thing which attracts people. I'm not saying it's the right target or wrong target, but many people want to get into that space so that they can do enterprise coaching, they can train people internally, and people whom they are training, they can also certify them, and they want to have authenticity and attachment with a Scrum Alliance for that. So you need to see which connection helps you getting better. Expert certificates are just new things in a way, becoming more and more common. Earlier, they were not that much common. Okay. So we are saying that if the recession comes, maybe we don't need management people. We can just work with the developers. And how do we sustain as an agile coach or a scrum master when people are looking for cutting the cost? I would say in the ideal environment, I don't want to have overheads. I will only want to work with people who can develop. That's an ideal environment. But incidentally, we are not reaching to that environment. People don't want to talk to each other, people don't want to share information with each other. They required some kind of trigger still. Yeah, if we reach to a stage where people don't require trigger, or if the organization can reach to at that stage, I think they don't need any leader, any manager, or any project manager, scrum master. Nothing is needed. Yeah, because the contributors are needed. But it depends. Yeah, I don't see in my experience that stage reaching, and that's why the organization needs someone who can manage and facilitate. Yeah, that's what my observations are. So another question coming in, is it good idea to accept an offer where you have a scrum master / project manager, where you already know there are different roles and responsibility? I would say it's no problem, provided you are working in the service organization where you are executing work in a project mode, because they want you to deal projects, and those projects might be dealing in the scrum space. So as we spoke before, there are two approaches for developing product. One is a product approach and another is a project approach. The project approach organizations will be needing scrum masters / project manager, or project manager and scrum masters, because they need to take care of projects. Okay, so follow-up question is, what is the best role after the Scrum Master? So we make few videos around that as well. So there are multiple paths. So Scrum Master, as you only asked the question, can become a project manager in the service-oriented organization where you are dealing with project way of working. That's a one path. It can become a large group facilitator, large team Scrum Master, many times known as a release train engineer, still a delivery role. You are focusing on delivery, but you are facilitating long delivery. You can probably get into other kind of facilitation role and leadership role, because the idea here is Scrum Master is a leader, and any role can fit in where the leadership skills are needed. So a person may end up taking care of a particular department, particular group, because the facilitation skills are the one, coaching and facilitation skills are the needed for today's and tomorrow's leader. So your coaching and facilitation skills will have a lot of utility. So, but yeah, release train engineer, agile coaches, project manager, or getting into the leadership position of various organization is a possible direction for Scrum Masters. Okay. Now, another question. I wonder how to increase technical skills for non-technical Scrum Masters. So I would say, as someone who is doing technical job from last 5-7 years, and you want the expert technical people for working on your product, and someone who is coming from zero technical background and assumes that I will be able to create that mindset and contribute here, though I am primarily a project manager, maybe too much high expectation from the person. At the same time, having some understanding of technical skills can make you empathize and understand the technical problems well. So I'm a manager, I'm a leader, you call me scrum master, project manager, whatever, but I am expected to lead and facilitate a group of team members. Yeah, that's my role. I need to have an understanding so that I can ensure we are not taking shortcuts. I ensure quality. I can understand what is working, what is not working, and I can empathize with my people who are doing the work. I may not be able to solve their problem. I may not be an expert in solving their problem because I am not more skilled than them. I am less skilled in technology than them. And that's why I need to facilitate to solve the problem. Now, if I want to get some basic understanding so that I can facilitate it well, I can definitely do some amount of introductory program by taking some assistance. Whatever technology is getting used in a given target profile, you can take some kind of a program so that you understand the foundational part of it. It is also a good idea to do a shadowing with some of the team members for a while. Yeah? So you just be a part of 1 hour shadowing, 2 hour shadowing, where you just observe what the developer or the tester is doing. You may make a note, and then you have a half an hour interaction where you can ask, why you did this, why you did that. And probably if you do 5-10 such sessions, you will get a fair understanding what is happening in your team. Yeah. So a structured learning program for a given technology, or doing shadowing with the technical people periodically, maybe taking some hours of education, can help you in getting necessary skills, which helps you in empathizing with your development team. Okay. Another question, how do you think Kanban 1, Kanban 2 certification help in anyone who wish to do the role of Scrum Master, Agile Coach, etc., etc.? So in general, my belief is the understanding of Kanban is needed, significantly needed, if you are working in a safe environment or in a multi-team complex environment where pure Scrum is not the only solution. You need to work with mix-up of on-demand scheduling or Kanban way of working or something else. By understanding Kanban, it is just not about the board, but it is also about understanding how to design a Kanban system, how to design various policies, how to create different kind of service level agreements, how to create different class of services, how to drive work in progress limits, how to visualize bottlenecks and remove those bottlenecks, and how to look at matrices like lead time, community flow diagram, and various kind of flow efficiency kind of things. It helps you in visualizing the whole thing, and so that you can create your own or you can facilitate creation of a Kanban system. The Scaled Agile framework is using Kanban extensively. They do teach inside SAFe, but personally I believe the learning inside SAFe is a one way of using Kanban. They have a one interpretation or one implementation of Kanban, but there could be multiple way of doing Kanban implementation which are not taught in the Scaled Agile framework. So knowing Kanban is a good idea. One can study, one can watch videos, or if you see that there is some value and you want to get some assistance rather than delaying your learning, then doing Kanban certification is a good idea. We do see more and more people attracting towards Kanban's certification program because they want to understand what is there beyond a board. They want to understand various matrices. They want to understand how things can work in the on-demand way of working, because time-boxed way of working is not necessarily suitable in all the context. I'm not saying Scrum way of working, I'm saying time-boxed way of working, because in many cases you need to have a non-time-boxed way of working and sometimes mixture of two. So in a Kanban, you can design a system with a time box, without a time box, mixture of both. You can create your own Kanban system. So I see that there is a good, I would say, value in understanding Kanban if you want to work at an org level, because each and every person will not be able to use Scrum way of working. Okay. What could be a leadership role? Yeah. So it's like, someone has done Scrum Master and thing. What is the leadership role? So I would say, let's look at your organization. What are the leadership roles in your organization? You may see a leadership role like someone head HR. That's a leadership role. One can become a head HR if they have a good facilitation skills, if the organization value that. That's the one leadership role. Many times you see a leadership role which are account level roles. You have a big value stream, you have a 2 3 products in it, and you want someone at a portfolio level to own those value stream and the PLN responsibility. So many organization may have, fine BFSI product head, or maybe a retail banking product head, or maybe a e-commerce group having multiple product and someone is heading that. So these all are leadership role. Now these leadership roles, examples, yeah, product heads, a functional head like HR, or there could be another functions also, are expected to demonstrate skills to work with people so people can align and do wonder. So what is needed? How can I motivate and influence people? I may not be the smartest guy because I have hired good product people, good facilitator. So my job is facilitation and coaching and producing results. Yeah. Not I my job is not telling people what to do, but my job is getting best out of people. So that's the leadership role, and these are the possible example. One can go through any role. They can go through a product ownership role also. People can go from a project management space also. People can go from scrum master space also. And the best thing is you look at your current organization, you see who are my senior management and what is their history. You will find many of your senior management, senior leadership roles coming from these kind of sources. Someone was project manager or a scrum master for 10 years and now he is a vice president technology or something. You see those things coming in. But I believe take step by step path, focus on competencies, role will follow. So you focus on competencies like, okay, am I facilitating my daily scrum well? How can I do it better? Yeah. So I improve my facilitation skills. Am I coaching and mentoring my team members well? How can I do it better? And that's how we move forward one by one, improving our scrum performance first. Nobody is going to give me a leadership role if I am unable to make my team do super performing. Yeah, people will attracted to me if they see, oh, your team is doing wonder. What are you doing here? You don't have to worry about your next role if your team does wonder. Okay, so I just got certified and wondering the best way to get a Scrum Master role with no experience. See, you might have an experience. I'm not hoping that you are coming fresh from the college. Yeah, but might be you are saying no experience, which means that I think I don't have a relevant experience. That seems to be the question. Now, how do I position myself when I don't have a relevant experience for a Scrum Master role and I probably have done certified Scrum Master program? That could be the question. Now, think from a recruiter side, think from the employer side, why they should hire you. Yeah. When they can hire someone who has proven history of performing as a Scrum Master, why should they hire you? You need to find the answer of this question. Once you find it, they will hire you. Yeah, because you know what differentiate me. Now, how can you find that answer? Probably you need to see what is there in your past experience, what is unique in your competencies, and how can you grow that competency, how can you grow your past experience, and find those kind of companies who might be valuing what you have rather than who might be looking for what you don't have. Yeah. So you may not have an experience of Scrum Master, so don't go to the companies who are looking for that, but look for something which you have and try to target those organizations. In order to understand how the Scrum works and how the terminology works and all those things, we have a program, we call it Industry Enabled Scrum Master. That program can help you in getting started with that. Because when you go for certified Scrum Master program, you understand Scrum from a theoretical perspective, from a standard perspective. In an organization, when you go for an interview, they talk about, what is your Jira, what is your this, where are the risk and other things. And you may wonder, these are the things we have been not taught in the certified Scrum Master class. So if you want to just fill up the gap which is related to knowledge, our IESM program can help you. And it also gives you a platform to explore various interview questions which you may get in your job interview. At the same time, you also need to build and create your unique profile so that recruiter should feel happy, should feel good to hire you rather than remain confused for hiring you. Yeah. So we need to come up with our unique profile selling proposition. Okay, so this was good. We had great conversations, and finally, a few more minutes, 5, 10, yeah, around. If someone has something, please drop it. Yeah. So a question, interesting question. I was asked in an interview, how can an organization measure and validate effectiveness of a Scrum Master and effectiveness of Agile Coach? I believe it's a great question. And in a simple word, if I put it in a different way, I would say, how do you measure effectiveness of your own job? In your current job, are you effective more than the previous month? How do you take your own feedback? Yeah. So if you are working, the feedback is the goal, the retrospective is the goal, and introspection is also the goal. So how do you introspect? How do you identify that you have an areas which need to be worked upon, and how do you see that those areas after working upon is producing value? Yeah. So you probably need to relate to your current way of measuring your effectiveness. If you don't have it, think about it, come up with something. Yeah. And definitely use it rather than just putting it here and there. Now, how do we see an effectiveness? In general word, what is an effectiveness of a leader? Basic way of Scrum Master, Agile Coach, it's a leadership role. Some amount of facilitated coaching, mentoring, leadership role. So what tells me I'm a good leader? If I am able to influence my people to improve month on month, to find a right value for my customers and make good use of organization resources, I am influencing and leading them towards the product delivery. I may not be an expert to solve technical problems, but I work with a given situation, given constraint, and we make a best use of it. So as a leader, my role is all about mentoring, coaching, developing team members. If I develop them and I use some kind of mechanism to assess how the development is going, one of the measurement is how productive the teams are, how the code quality is improving, and there could be a measurement of how happy the team is, how collaborative the team is. So if the collaboration is increasing, if the productivity is increasing, if the customer satisfaction is increasing, if the value delivery is increasing, probably I'm doing the good job. Yeah, that's a simple thing. If none of these things are increasing, and I think I am doing all the good job, probably not. I might be struggling to improve it. Maybe there are so many various constraints, but I am always looking for ways to improve it. I may struggle for a month or 2 or 3, but after that, I should get a breakthrough. That's a simple thing. So that's a one dimension. Another dimension is a servant leadership dimension. How well I can resolve impediments, how many open impediments are there, how can I influence stakeholders. So by working with the people, by showing them the importance of problems, I can probably move further from there. Yeah, that's something you can focus on. So current role, look at a job description of a current role, see what are the key performance areas of Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, and probably have some mechanism to see how I am performing that roles and responsibility on month basis. And that's an effectiveness. Definitely the team performance, especially if you are working in a long-term assignment, is one of the key indicator of a leader. Yeah, if I'm leading and my team is not doing anything, there is something wrong. Yeah. Great. Yeah, great. Thank you for keep watching the videos. Yeah, good. Probably we can take another 1 or 2 question. If someone has a follow-up one, may not be a new one, we can talk and then we probably close the conversation for today. Okay, so looks like time to close this session. Great. So thank you everyone for your active participation. I know we have been doing some random here and there. Last time Sanjay was here and we have done this continuate Friday, because I can't do it next Friday because of face-to-face trainings and all. So that's something is there. The question came, do we have a suggestion for the books? If you are focusing on Scrum, I would say the Essential Scrum is a good book. Yeah, Essential Scrum, if you search on it, is a good book to get nitty-gritties of Scrum to start with, and then you will find your way forward. Yeah, so Anil is sharing some of the answer. Collaboration of team got better, defect leakage is reduced, and rework got reduced. Good indicators. Yeah, good indicators. Yeah, you can focus on. Yeah, nice idea from Anil. Thank you. Great, guys. Thank you. And we will schedule our next session soon. You will get update on our YouTube as well as on LinkedIn space. So another question, I was asked to do a goal setting for a Scrum Master in my team as a project lead. Any specific? I think it's a collaborative exercise. So the idea here is that the way Anil was answering, probably you can also ask the same question to a Scrum Master, that what do you think? How effective are you? Yeah. How do you measure your own effectiveness? Where are we right now and where you want to go? So it's a collaborative thing. I have a role and I need to improve in my role. Yeah. Rather than you must do this, let's work together and set the goals. So it might be focusing on handling of impediments better, improving the facilitation and quality of various scrums, reducing the technical defects, or improving the code quality better. There could be many areas, but it should be done collaboratively. That's the recommendation from my side. Good. So finally, thank you everyone, and see you sometime soon. We will publish this in advance, and in between I may try the Instagram live as well. If you are not following, we have an Instagram channel, Eisenbridge Official. Yeah, that's the channel, Eisenbridge Official. Probably you want to follow it, and probably we'll do some kind of live conversation there as well. Yeah. Thank you everyone, and we continue working on a YouTube as well. We are not stopping. It's just little bit scheduling here and there. Thank you for your active participation. Bye everyone.